I know what you're thinking when you read a title like this, 100x on a top altcoin like ICP. It can't be true. Well, I found a way where it's potentially possible to do this, and I'm going to talk about another cryptocurrency as well where I think it's possible. And these are not meme coins. As you know, ICP is a solid project if you believe in it, but I think there is still some potential if you're a small investor. So this is for anybody that wants to ape into ICP with $1,000. And 100k, I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be very difficult, okay? 100k on a 100x coin is difficult in most coins, let alone a coin with a market cap currently of 3 million. But I want to have an open mind. I'm going to show you a strategy with this coin and another coin, but I'll be honest with you, it's not going to be easy, because once you get 1k to 40, 50, 60k, and you do a 50, 60x in any coin, I would really urge you to exit the game at that point and maybe leave 10, 15%, because if you're doing the 1k to 100k in anything and you're holding, what will typically happen is, and this is just hard luck, is you might ride it up to 60, 70k and then you might ride it all the way back down, but you'll be holding on, and that's what happened in the last bull run. So turning 1k to 100k with any cryptocurrency is the dream of many investors. Now ideally, if we can just get 10k in some coins, a 10x is easy with ICP, I'll promise you that right now. But I know a lot of people don't have 10k, especially to invest in one single coin. So if you have a 10k portfolio, yeah, you could just buy ICP, but the better option would be to build a diversified portfolio just in case ICP doesn't, pull through. But I believe it will. The Bitcoin bull run will come in 30 to 60 days, the next leg up. And ICP, with its strong fundamentals, strong use case, although it's had a bad launch, because you can look at a chart like this and you can get panicky, okay? And that's when I first looked at ICP. I looked at this chart and I was like, nope, rug pull. But then you start to look at ICP, and again, the other projects I'll give you at the end of this video, and you start to realize, wait a minute, this is a fucking great buying opportunity, because you look at the 1 year to date, or just the last year, and you see, well, it's done a 5x or so, give not a 6x actually, if you count it back here. Yes, it's a retracement, Bitcoin started to cool down, completely normal. So, I'll tell you something about the right strategy, knowledge, and a bit of luck. When I say the word luck, the luck you can create is you can create this luck. It's the hard work you're doing today. You can create this luck in cryptocurrency. After this bull run, ICP or not, a lot of people, if you're in this game seriously, are going to say, you got so lucky. You got so lucky to invest in crypto. No, you didn't, bro. You had to go through the struggle. Okay? That is what's going to happen. So I want you to be prepared, whether you invest in ICP or not. A lot of people after this bull run are going to say, you got so lucky. And you can just smile and say, no, brother. I put in the hard work while you bought the top. So we're going to explore the key principles and strategies that can help you do this with ICP. But remember, with great risk comes great reward, sure. But also, we have to appreciate there's some caution in any cryptocurrency. There's no guarantees in this. Let's be 100% real. So the main reason I wanted to discuss ICP, like I said, I think it's one of the safest projects at a 3 million market cap where you could get the 100k. But again, you are going to have to require some moonshot maths and some other things I'll talk about at the end of this video with ICP. But again, when you look at the chart, you start to get a little bit scared. Okay, so this put me off ICP, okay? Because you see a launch and you see in coin market cap, but if you don't understand what happened here with the manipulation with FTX, etc., it was actually about $600 if you look at it really, I think on TradingView. You see a way higher price. In fact, you see prices here of 3,000. Now, yes, didn't really happen. Some manipulation here. But when you see this, you can be scared. Okay? But again, there's a 5 to 6x in here if you start zooming in just in the last year to date. So, anybody at the bottom of the launch, I feel sorry for you. But if we're being realistic, probably none of you guys did. And that's okay. So, here's the maths. $1,000, I'll buy you, give or take at the time of recording, about 141 ICP. ICP, this is the hard part you need to understand. You need ICP to go about $708 to get the 100k. Is that going to happen? Probably not. If you're holding for this for your life, you are playing a very risky game, okay? And that's going to be very tough. But I want you to remember, any cryptocurrency, this is how the market moves. And we're almost in here right now. Again, if we look at 30 to 60 days, and this is what I think is so important, because every bull run, the second phase up, okay, round about this phase, just think of this as 2021, this will be 2024 and then 2025. What happens is after the halving point, if you look at the halving, it's 4 to 6 months of nothing happening. Okay, and kind of like last shakeout. So again, there could be potentially still be a last shakeout for ICP. If so you start aping in ICP at $7, I'll show you where I think ICP's low could be in a second. And that's very important, because if you aped in right now, there's a potential price where you could get, you look at ICP of 141. If ICP got cut in half, which is possible, and I'll show you that in the chart, and you aped in the $1,000 now, you're going to be very pissed off when you can say, well, I could have bought 1,000 ICP or $1,000 worth of ICP, and I got 280 coins. Because remember, it's about the coins. It's not about the dollar value right now. You're looking to sell this dollar value of the 50k, 100k, whatever, in 25. The money you put in right now, we're taking that for the coins. It's trade for the coins, right? When you buy one Bitcoin, it's one Bitcoin, right? But if you sell one Bitcoin in 25 at 125k, you get the cash back. Okay, and the Bitcoin crashes again, you come and buy it in at 40, 30, 20k, whatever the crash goes to. You now be able to pick up 6 Bitcoin. Does that make sense? So it's the same with anything. Just understand that the dollars you put in right now, we trade them for the coin. And then if you're smart and you're not holding everything through the crash again, because that would be stupid, take that from somebody that got wrecked. We trade that again back in for the dollar value, and we do it all over again. It's very important. It sounds simple, but a lot of people just don't understand that. So again, 30 to 60 days is where I expect this next leg up to come. But there's some downward action. So ICP, let's talk facts. Highest TPS, ICP. It's the cheapest in all assets, ICP. Full stack decentralization, ICP. And remember, these guys, the whole goal is to build websites that nobody can take you down, which I think is very good. Okay, because you can make a website right now, and there's nothing stopping Google or the big guys behind the scenes just taking that website down. It happens to all the big guys that speak out about the country, etc. You go and check their websites, and they're not there anymore. And that can suck if you build a business and they just take it away from you because you have to obey to their laws. And that's why I think one of the reasons, obviously there's many other reasons by ICP, but that's a great use case for ICP, to be able to say what you want on your own website, because that's the way it should be, right? I don't like centralization. I want, like, if you look at YouTube right now, it's like you have to be careful with some words you say, and if you say too bad, they just don't push your videos. I swear a lot. Some people don't like that, and YouTube see that. Like, I'll give you a quick example real quick. If you swear in the first 10 seconds of a YouTube video, first of all, the video gets demonetized. Okay, so you don't make any money, which I don't really care about the YouTube ad revenue money. We don't make much on ad revenue money. But that's just annoying. And number two is, they won't push your video. If you go to, platforms like Rumble, that you can say what you want. Okay, that's why Andrew Tate's over there. That's why Russell Brand's over there. Because YouTube kicked them off. So the potential 10 to 50x, potentially 100x, I'll show you a strategy of that in a second, flying under the radar. Because here's what's on everybody's radar right now, and I love Solana. Solana's a great play. But everybody's radar is Solana, and you don't buy when everybody's talking about Solana at $500, $600 in the bull run. You buy undervalued assets. There's risk because you have to make sure the crowd comes in. But once the money flows comes in, I think ICP can destroy, not Solana in terms of market caps. We're talking about returns. So what I would do is I would play for the $150 to $250 peak of ICP. Yes, we can run further than that, but if you're playing anything above, if you've not took 80% out at about $250, you're playing a very risky game, and you've got a big chance of getting wrecked. Now, this depends how high BTC goes, and I think a big part of that is going to be the election. If Trump can win, we could really raise up these prices. If Trump doesn't win, cryptocurrency will still have a good bull run, but it's going to be tough, man. Especially after November, when we should be expecting the next leg up. If Trump doesn't win, that's when this black swan event could happen, and people start selling. You will still go higher, but I think it's very important that Trump does win for our bags. I think it's so important. So what I would do is I would do the 20% strategy. So you might take 20% out at 55, and this is not foolproof, this is just basic maths. 20% at 80, another 95, 100, 25 or 125 price, you take 20% out, and then you might let the rest run. You might take out a 140, or you just might just let it run. If you want to go 700, 800, $1,000 ICP, won't get it, I'll be honest, but you never know. You do what you want. So again, let's talk about ICP. There's where I've kind of drawn my price potentials, and this is minimum for me, right? You could go way higher, but this isn't going to get you anywhere close to the $250, which kind of sucks. You can see how cheap I am. I don't even pay for TradingView because all my money goes back in cryptocurrency. But here's a potential catalyst. If Bitcoin dumps, you have lows of $3, $4. This is where we kind of like touch the wedge, right? And that is very annoying because, again, you can buy double the ICP here, and that'll do so much better for that 100k portfolio if you're just trying to turn 1k to 100k. But the catalyst is, in any cryptocurrency, if this doesn't drop to there, you might be waiting forever. A perfect example is me and Render. Waited forever, never got the price I wanted to, and I was like, fuck, might as well just buy now. You never know, brother, and you can't time it. So if you look at that, and we look at ICP, you see what they're doing, etc., in their whole product ecosystem. But again, $708 is what you need to do 100k. It's probably not going to get you there. So again, if you look at 250, and this is if you to sell the full bag at 250, of course, like we just said, you might take initials out at 45, that'll give you 6k, then you might take an extra 20% out at 85, and then 95 just before 100. It's obviously good to do that before whole numbers, especially 100, and then you might go 115. You really start stacking up some cash, but you're probably only going to be left with less than 50k. And that's where it gets difficult, and that's where there's a sort of like, how do you get to the 100k in this bull run with just 1k? Well, what you could do, and you could stake. So let's say you put in the 1k right now, you can go and stake ICP, I believe, on your ledger through the network nervous system NSS. I haven't done this, but you could do this if you want. It's going to be very safe. You hold the keys, I believe, and you can easily secure. So you secure the keys, right? You 100% control the keys. And if you believe the next bull run isn't going to hit for an extra 12 months or maybe even higher, in this downward action, wherever we go down here, all the way back up here, you can stack a lot of ICP, brother. Now the problem is it's only at 8 to 10% for the year, so it's going to be difficult to accumulate a lot. But I promise you, if we get ICPs down about the $3, and you can get that 10, 15%, there's obviously some other platforms where you can go higher. I think there's some platforms where you can get 50%, but you have to be careful. Okay, you have to check out everything, the volume, the TVL, etc. That's where you can really stack out a lot of ICP. So again, with your initial investment, if you did buy 1,000 today, you hold 141, but in the next 12 months, if you can get a decent yield, not the 8%, although you could do that, you could start getting close to 200. You could maybe get 250 if you find some other platforms that are a little bit more sketchier, and that's where you can do more damage, because again, you come back in and look at the maths. If you bought, 1,000, but you stacked and got yield, you could potentially double the price and get about 70k because you now hold 300, 250 ICP, okay? So that's something you need to keep aware. It will be difficult to get to 100k, and that is just a reality, but you never know how fast this can go, because at a 3 million market cap, who's to say this can't go past 300 million market cap? Again, if you look at Ethereum's right now, about 312, this is before the bull market. If Ethereum hits a market cap or a price of 10k, which a lot of people will think is going to happen, I think 8, 9k is sensible, but that would give Ethereum billions of dollars in market cap. If you look at Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does a 2x, which I think is reasonable at 120k, it could go way higher, 180, it just depends. Then money starts to flow down. Solana, if you think Solana is going to hit $500 to $1,000, then you're going to be looking at Solana, high millions, potentially billions of market cap. And then if you go back to ICP at 3 million market cap, you can do a lot of damage if world catches storm, and that's the most important part. The news needs to spread, and this will happen because ICP is hot. Not a lot of people are talking about it right now, but that's where you make the money. So there's just some food for thought. It's going to be very difficult to get to the 100k. I'll be 100% honest with you, but there's nothing wrong with easy maths of turning 1k to 30 to 40k. I think that's quite reasonable, and I don't think you're going to be pissed off with doing an ICP trade of 1k to 30k with some staking yield, etc. I think that's still respectable, because a lot of people lose all the money. Okay, understand that. Now, the next project I'll give you is actually, we just talked about, Render, and I believe you can get somewhere close with Render right now. There's some great platforms on Orica, I think it's called, where you can get close to like 50%. Okay, so the yields are a lot better, and you could even stake this with Solana. So you have both sides of the coin, if that makes sense. So I'll tell you a little story with me and Render. I wish I invested more in Render. I was interested in buying Render, give or take, at about the 50 cents. I never bought it, and that shit ate me up really bad. And that's the problem with waiting for prices to go lower. This was the lowest it was ever going to go. Again, it could still come back down here because you've just seen basically up from Render. If Bitcoin starts to dump, you will get Render prices, I don't think of 50 cents. You might get $1 to $2. And again, buying at $7 or, what is it, $4.40, you get a lot more Render if you can buy at $1. But again, the problem is you might never get into that price. So again, we talk about AI all the time. AI stocks and cryptos have gained a lot of value. The reason why I wanted to talk about Render is NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA, if you don't know, is a stock. Okay, The reason why this is so hot right now is because it's an AI stock. If you look at Elon Musk, they're investing billions of dollars. This is where a lot of money is going to flow. And if you look at NVIDIA, it's funny how this almost follows the bull run, right? 2021, 2022, it started to crash. But then it's been going up ever since. 750% for a stock, brother. So if this can translate to cryptocurrency, e.g. Render and some other AI picks, that's where you're looking at 50, 100x's. And that's not even a joke, because that's what you get in cryptocurrency. Because it takes a lot of money to move NVIDIA's price up. But the market has just said, no, fuck it. We want NVIDIA. So once that money starts to flow over, the AI surge could be familiar to the dot-com bubble. People are going to be throwing money at anything. So take Render, for example. Again, I was at 50 cents. With the AI boom, this coin can easily at $100. And I think it could go a lot higher if Render can continue to be the best. So again, how you get 100k in Render, that's where you have the problem. Because you buy right now, you need to get a sell price of 4,460 at the 100k. And I'll be honest, you're not going to get that. It's just going to be, it's 100x, man. It's 100x on Render at a market cap of 1.7 billion. It's going to be tough, but you can do very close to this because again, if this money starts to flow from NVIDIA and other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, your ICP, Solana, and it catches this storm, and it's already started to do that, man. If you look at this run, this is millions of dollars flowing in this market cap. Again, 50 cents when we were talking about it, all the way up to its peak, or local peak, to 36x. But a problem with 36x on this great run, market cap's higher right now, and you need 100x. So I would play for 95 to 125, but I would keep a little bit, 20 to 35% out for potential higher prices, because this could run a lot more. But if you're not 60, 70% out at this point, and at least guaranteeing you a fuck ton of money, I think you're playing a very risky game. So again, with the Render game, you could stake and get 40 to 50 euros. It's a great way to stack free coins, especially if you want to pair against Solana. There's other platforms you could use. This is just one that we're using. For a while now, I had no problems. The volume's good, the TVL is good, the fees are not bad. And I believe Render has a great play. So you look at Render, you look at ICP. To turn 2k to 200k with both of them, theoretically is going to be difficult. But easy trade for me is 60 to 70k. If not 100k if Render really starts to take off. I think Render has more potential just with the AI narrative, with NVIDIA, etc. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it. So you might be a little bit pissed off because technically it's so difficult to turn to 100k with 1k, but I don't think you're going to be pissed off with those returns. If I could click my fingers and we're at the 2025 bull run and all your other positions have ticked off and you've done well, I think you would take a 1k to 30 to 40, potentially 50k with each of these positions in ICP and Render. I'd love to know your thoughts if you're holding these coins in the comments below. I'd love to know your price predictions. It's obviously difficult to do that because we don't really look at price predictions. We look at the USD dominance and Bitcoin dominance chart. But it's just food for thought. It's food for thought. These coins are easy picks in my opinion. They could go down lower, just understand that. It depends what Bitcoin can do in the next 30 to 60 days and the election. But if Trump wins this election, man, I think Render is a great pick at $4.40. I really, really do. Could go down lower. You could go back to 1 to 2 and it will be annoying if you ape in your last money right now. But in 3-4 months, if you can't get another $1,000, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, brother. You got to get that cash flow. You got to get stacking, because then you could come in another buy. You buy right now, but then you maybe drop to $1.40. You buy another $1,000. Now it becomes a reasonable game to hit 100k in Render. But that's just food for thought, man. Love to know your comments. Peace.